Good morning. And a special good morning to the bleacher seats, everybody. Good morning and welcome. My name is Stephen Lund. I'm the President and CEO of Nova Scotia Business Inc. I'm thrilled to be here today to share in this exciting announcement. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. I'd like to particularly recognize Premier Darrell Dexter, the several cabinet ministers that are here with us today, Minister Moore, Minister MacDonald, Minister Paris, many of our university presidents, including Sean Riley, Colin Dodds, Ray Ivany. I'd like to point out and welcome, one day into the job, our new mayor, Mike Savage. Mike, Mayor, congratulations. And we look forward to working together to help this great city grow. And also many special guests that are with us here today. And I also want to have a special thank you to all of our students here today. And thank you for joining us. Thank you. Our future leaders are here today. I also want to particularly recognize and thank Mr. John Lutz, the President of IBM Canada, and Don Bureau, the President of Nova Scotia Community College, who both will be speaking in a few minutes. And Don, thank you for hosting us in this wonderful location. You will also hear from a student today who is studying IT, information technology in Yarmouth, and from a local business leader, J.P. DeVoe, whose business has a global reach in over 70 countries around the world. Nova Scotia's IT sector is one of the fastest growing sectors in our province. And in fact, we have one of the fastest growths in this sector in the entire country. With today's announcement, we're about to witness a game changer for our province and this sector, and hopefully for some of the young people here today. So now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Premier Darrell Dexter.
Good morning. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you, Don. John, great to have you with us. Of course, JP, you're a regular fixture at a lot of these things. Mr. Mayor, my colleagues in the Executive Council, friends, I want to begin by thanking NSCC for hosting us today. The number one commitment that I made to Nova Scotians when we were elected in June of 2009 was that we would create good jobs for the Nova Scotia economy. My number one commitment brings me here today. As I listen to families, small business owners, and young people in all parts of Nova Scotia, I can feel their energy and enthusiasm. Over the last 2 decades, many of our youngest and brightest felt that they had to leave their families and their communities and move away to find jobs elsewhere. Young people, they want to live and work here. They want to raise their children close to their families, and they don't want to have to sacrifice their career opportunities to do it. Nova Scotians can make that a reality for more and more young people. After 20 years of the worst economic growth of any province, Nova Scotia is turning the corner with great opportunities, like the $25 billion shipbuilding contract and the Lower Churchill Hydro development. And friends, this is one of the most significant weeks for Nova Scotia job creation. Yesterday, I was at Dalhousie to announce that Calgary-based Projects Technologies will bring 440 engineering jobs to Nova Scotia. For the first time in a very long time, the West is coming east. Today, I'm pleased to announce that the world's leader in IT services has chosen to establish its only Canadian global delivery center right here in Nova Scotia. Enterprises in Canada and around the world will start looking to Nova Scotia for expert IT service and advice. They will be able to tap into this center for new applications and business tools that will help businesses, companies of all sizes, boost their bottom line and become more competitive. I'm also pleased to announce that IBM will partner with 5 of our universities, Dalhousie, St. FX, Acadia, CBU, and St. Mary's, and NSCC, to establish a center of analytics. That center will help prepare our students for the jobs of the future and train them to become experts. Simply put, analytics turn data into usable information. Nova Scotia companies like Acadian Sea Plants and Halifax Biomedical are already using analytics to turn data into advice that helps them make the best decisions possible. Nova Scotians know that a partnership like this between government, education, and business is a partnership that works for people. Many of us saw this firsthand recently with another milestone for the Irving Shipbuilding Center of Excellence. Now Canada and Nova Scotia will have a similar center for analytics. IBM is aiming to make Canada the world capital of analytics, and Nova Scotia is going to help make that a reality. IBM will now deliver SAP services for the province, maintaining the level of service and security that Nova Scotians have come to rely on. The company will offer current employees jobs with tremendous potential for growth. Those employees can choose to join the company, or they can choose to remain in the public service. It will be their choice. Nova Scotia is offering an incentive to IBM to establish its global delivery center here, and over the next 8 years, they will create 500 new jobs in Nova Scotia. "500 employees would earn almost $130 million over 8 years, money that they can spend in their communities and on making life better for families. This will generate $18.7 million in provincial income tax, $12.2 million of which IBM can earn in return for creating and retaining these jobs. The province gains more than $6 million in tax revenue from this project to help pay for better health care for families and seniors, better schools for students to go and learn in, and better roads for shipping and receiving products. Working with companies like IBM is one way to ensure that Nova Scotians can build a great life for themselves right here. IBM could have picked any place in Canada to bring their expertise, research, and jobs. Colleagues from IBM, I think you chose the best place in Canada to build a better future. You chose a province where people are ready to seize the opportunity and succeed. In the past 2 days, I've announced the potential for close to 1,000 new jobs, new good jobs in Nova Scotia. We're turning the corner. We're inviting people to come to our universities and colleges to study, to our companies to work, and to our towns and cities to establish businesses so that they can hire highly trained and expertly skilled workers. I want people and companies to come here for the competitive advantage, for the resources, for the research, and for the partnerships. Because by working together and investing in people, Nova Scotia's future starts here. Thank you.
Mr. Premier, thank you very much. Before I turn the mic over to Mr. Lutz from IBM Canada, I just wanted to share a little bit of information about IBM. We've gotten to know IBM quite well over the past 3 years, and it's certainly been our pleasure to work with John's team. Not only is IBM one of the top IT companies in the world, it is one of the top and most respected companies in the world, period. The company has been ranked by Forbes magazine as one of the top brands in the world. Business Week ranked IBM as one of the top 10 places to launch a career, one of the top 10 places to land an internship, and one of the most desirable employees for undergrads in North America. I hope you guys heard that. This is a company that immediately puts our city and our province on the map internationally. This was clearly a very competitive situation for us. And for us to have a chance to land one of the most respected companies in the world is a real testimony to the hard work that a lot of people have put into this, and the fact that we do compete against the world on a daily basis, and we win. Now please welcome John Lutz to the podium. John, thanks.
Thank you, Stephen. And on behalf of all of my colleagues across IBM Canada, I'm really thrilled to be here today joining all of these leaders. Mr. Premier, thank you for your commentary, and the whole team. I appreciate, Don, the hosting today and all the work that went into making this arrangement possible. It has taken a steady and strong commitment to the principles that you'll see supported today, and also a lot of work, frankly, to get the agreement done. And so thank you to everyone. Now, we have been providing IT capability services to enterprises and governments here in Nova Scotia for over 50 years. And across those 50 years, hundreds of IBMers, employees of IBM Canada, and across Atlantic Canada have worked in all these sectors to provide a wide range of technology and consulting needs. Started very much in a hardware-centric kind of way, but over the years have evolved into a wide variety of services. Dedicated IBMers have served on a variety of local boards, such as the Information Technology Association of Nova Scotia, and they have partnered with local universities to promote Atlantic Canada as a hub for research and innovation. I'll give you a couple examples. At St. Mary's University, IBM collaborated with researchers there on speech recognition software so that deaf and hard of hearing students could participate equally in the student curriculum. At Cape Breton University's Alexander Graham Bell Institute, IBM worked with researchers to develop voice transcription systems that aid in the fight of crime. And we consider it a real privilege to play a role in these kinds of game-changing research initiatives, and we look forward to continued collaboration on just these kinds of projects. But today is a big step forward. Today is a discontinuity in our relationship. We're making a big leap, and it's a very important occasion that brings us to today. Because today we are announcing a further collaborative effort to establish this IBM Global Delivery Center here to create 500 new jobs and to build SAP and analytics skills. This announcement is indeed an expansion of IBM's ongoing commitment to create high-value jobs, economic development, and to foster innovation here in Canada and here in Nova Scotia. And as well, it represents a very big step forward in terms of Atlantic Canada's own competitiveness within Canada and on the world stage. Now, this Global Delivery Center will be the first of its kind in Canada. Within IBM, it does fit within a network that we have around the world. And so it's a very important milestone for our team in IBM Canada to have our first such center here, and certainly very important for Nova Scotia that it be located right here. Now, we described already that we'll be creating 500 high-value jobs. Most of those will be in Halifax. Some will be elsewhere in the province, for instance, in Sydney. And our hope is that's just getting started. These new Nova Scotia employees will join the IBM Canada team and the broader network of more than 400,000 IBMers around the globe who are focused on making better solutions to make our world work better. As part of the Global Delivery Center, they'll be offering a wide range of application management solutions and consulting services, all of which are focused on real business problems facing enterprises today and our governments today. And from Nova Scotia, they will have a local, a national, and global impact as they assist clients to help with these kinds of jobs. With IBM's proven track record for managing and storing sensitive information, all the clients who use the IBM Global Delivery Center can rest assured that their data will remain secure and confidential. This is a very important aspect of our arrangement, something we take seriously in every context and we take very seriously here. We can assure that all standards around security and privacy that exist today will be at least maintained, and in many cases, they will be enhanced. There's one other significant regional aspect to this announcement, and that is that IBM will collaborate with the universities mentioned before, part of the post-secondary consortium, as I understand. The universities were listed before. Nova Scotia Community College, our host today, thank you. Dalhousie, Acadia, Cape Breton University, St. Francis Xavier, and St. Mary's University. And we thank each and every one of you for recognizing the skills needed to compete in the 21st century, and we're very proud to be your partners. Because there's no question that the skills needed to compete keep changing. This is a moving target if we want to participate in the global economy. And as we enter an era described by many as the era of big data, we need to be sure that we keep our skills up to pace. This era is characterized by the ability to make insightful decisions from massive amounts of information. We all have a lot of data now because we can instrument everything, we can interconnect everything, and we can derive intelligence if we can keep our skills where they need to be. Now, I'll give a little bit of context about some of our activities in Canada. Indeed, this was a very important investment for us to make here, but it fits within a framework that IBM has been using in Canada this year. In each case of the 4 investments I'll describe, we've been able to make important investments that promote Canadian innovation and Canada's own global competitiveness. In April, we announced the creation of the IBM R&D Center in Canada, our first research location. And in that case, again, we partnered with a variety of universities, this time in Ontario, and we are investing researchers there to solve problems around water, traffic, the environment, urban challenges in many cases that the cities all around the world, and we hope our findings there will be indeed applicable all around the world. In July, in Bromont in Quebec, we announced something called the Micro-Innovation Collaborative Center. In this case, it has to do with microchip research, so hardware, if you will. And a little known fact is that in Bromont, we package and develop hardware technology that's exported all around the world. And if you think about people's perceptions of the global economy, it would be a surprise to most that we're packaging hardware here in Canada and exporting so that the systems that are running the banks and other enterprises all around the globe indeed have important componentry exported here from Canada. Following on that, in September, we announced in Barrie, in Ontario, something called the IBM Canada Leadership Data Center. In this case, it is a state-of-the-art, very large and very expandable facility to take on some of the hosting requirements for all sorts of enterprises. It used to be that only a narrow set of our world needed this kind of 24/7 availability. But as consumers, we all know now that we expect to be able to access our banks, our retailers, indeed our governments, at any time at our convenience. And this kind of resilient system is required for everyone. And so that was another important investment. Today's our 4th big investment this year and a very, very important one. This is a key area for us. And so when you add this investment to the list, it should be clear that we are committed to Nova Scotia and we are committed to the growth and prosperity here in the province. We are eager to expand our operation with this new and talented team through this delivery center. And we look forward to a long collaborative relationship. There's a lot of talk in the business world about shoring. People say, well, you know, they're thinking of offshoring. A lot of firms are looking at balanced ways to have their work in more than one location for resiliency and backup. There are all sorts of neologisms. People coin things like best shoring and opti-shoring and so forth. I know the shores have always been very important here. There are a lot of shores. And I think it is thrilling that we're able to position Nova Scotia as a jewel in that crown to bring shoring right here to these shores and have us fit into that network. So with that, on behalf of all my colleagues at IBM, I thank you for your time and attention this morning.
John, when you go back, I want you to tell all you people throughout IBM around the world that Halifax is now the center for smart shoring. So thank you, John. I just want to quickly just pick up on something the Premier had talked about and John as well in terms of analytics. This is a terrific opportunity for us here in Nova Scotia. This is an area that's growing by about 40% a year. And Paul, you know more about this than probably anybody. It's really about taking information and deciphering it and figuring out what it means. Think about this. 90% of all the data in the world today was created in the last 2 years alone. That's an amazing number. Walmart processes 1 million transactions an hour. Facebook processes 30 billion content movements a month. Analytics is about taking all this information. Think about all the BlackBerries, iPhones, iPads, Googling, Facebook, Twitter. All that information, it's about using that and making smart decisions, whether you're in business or government or healthcare or anything else. So this is going to be a world-leading center here in Nova Scotia. On that note, let me move it over and ask Don Bureau, President of Nova Scotia Community College, to join us and say a few words.
Well, good morning, everybody, and it's my deep pleasure to welcome you to our waterfront campus of the Nova Scotia Community College. I want to give a special thank you to all the staff and faculty and students who've opened up your doors to welcome us in here today. We all know it's a very busy time of the school year, and for you to take a break and come down and be part of this announcement is very, very meaningful to us, so thank you very much for doing that. If you take a moment to look over my shoulder, up on the wall is the mission or the mandate of the Nova Scotia Community College. And if you read that mandate for a moment, it's very, very simple and very clear. We're here to help build the economy and quality of life of Nova Scotia through education and innovation. And I have to tell you, I could not think of a better example and a better way to help build our economy and quality of life than an amazing partnership that we've recently signed between 6 institutions of higher learning in this province and a wonderful global partner, IBM. Now, what specifically will this MOU result in? Well, there are 3 major pieces of work that we're very excited that we're going to launch very soon. The first piece of work is by looking forward to what the workforce is going to need in the years to come. We know skills and abilities and knowledge are going to be key drivers for success. So item number 1 is to work together with 6 institutions at IBM to look at our curriculum, to look at our programs to make sure that we're offering leading-edge programs to meet the workforce of tomorrow. The second major piece of work that we're going to be working on together is in the area of research and development. Together, we're going to work with our students and our faculty and IBM and the companies here in Nova Scotia to solve real-world problems. That's going to give our students, while they're learning in our institutions, the ability to hit the ground running when they begin their careers. And third, it's going to provide access to us, institutions of higher learning, to a global network of infrastructure in terms of hardware and software. And that software and hardware will make the learning experiences even more rich for Nova Scotians who come to college or university. And I want to share with you a story, or have her share a story with you. Michaela LeBlanc, who you're going to see on this screen in a couple seconds, is a proud student of the Nova Scotia Community College in Yarmouth. Michaela.
Hi. Thanks, Don. I'm happy to be here, thanks to technology, to add a few words about today's announcement. Bringing a partnership with one of the world's biggest names in IT to our region and all of the resources that will come with it is big news to me, and I know students in my class will agree. The doors will open to new and bigger opportunities for people in our field is exciting news for sure. I was in grade 6 when I got interested in IT, starting with Pixo, and by junior high I couldn't learn enough about the whole aspect of IT. I knew just then that's what I wanted to do. I now have my own domain, which I plan to turn into my portfolio, and I know the sky's the limit for learning in my field. And having new curriculum in the works for the IT sector in terms of analytics is a great step. In rural parts of our province, and Yarmouth is no exception, the first thing students like me often think is that the only solution is the need to go out west for opportunities after graduating. But the interest IBM and the new training will bring can help change that attitude. By growing the IT sector in this area, it gives me the confidence that the field is growing and new opportunities will open up for students like me here in Nova Scotia. Thank you.
So in conclusion, the many thousands of students at NSCC, and the 5 universities that we're working with, I have to tell you, IBM, we're very, very excited about the future. Together, we're going to work to deliver for you and for other industries in this province the skilled workforce that you're going to need, that we're going to need to be successful. So on behalf of the consortium, you've been a wonderful partner to date, and we're looking forward to a very, very bright future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Don. Our final speaker, JP DeVoe, one of our leading business people. I'd like you to come up and say a few words, JP.
Well, thank you, Stephen. And one of the things they didn't tell me here today was that I was going to have an opportunity to see a potential new employee in Yarmouth for our manufacturing base that we have in Yarmouth. So a little bonus in there. Well, what a pleasure it is for me to be here as part of this exciting announcement. I mean, this is a great news for Nova Scotia businesses. Acadian Seaplants competes in a global technology-based industry. We have a heavy research focus with 25 researchers on staff, including 10 PhDs. We work extensively with the local research community, both academic and research institutions, to develop technologies that allow us to be world leaders in what we do. But now we're going to have access to a new research capability and skill set right here in Nova Scotia. We need to make informed, strategic, and smart decisions on when, where, and how to innovate, and which markets to expand into. There's no room for guessing. In the past, we've had to do some guessing, and we didn't get the best possible outcome. We live in a world where there's just too much information. Analytics helps us analyze information and make the right choices. We are already using analytics for our data in-house to help us understand our markets. We plan to use it even more in the future. Having expertise like this right here at home is going to be a huge advantage for us. This will give us a new set of research resources to help us figure out the best way to analyze information. You know, as mentioned earlier, we do business with 70 countries around the world and are global leaders in what we do. This expertise, which will now be available locally, will only enhance our ability to remain global leaders and to enhance our position worldwide. Thank you very much.
Thanks, JP. So let me bring this to a close by just taking a few minutes just to thank a few people. I'd like to congratulate everybody involved over the last number of years because it's been a long time, but well worth it. First of all, to Byron Rayfuse and his team from finance and the many partners that we worked with throughout government, including the minister. Both ministers, thank you very much. Yeah. To our university and community college presidents, under the terrific leadership of Don Bureau. To my team at NSBI, Jerry Lawson, Lisa Bugden, Amy Gibson, Suzanne Diab, Sean Hurdle, and the great team behind you. Thanks, guys, for a lot of hard work and dedication. And finally, to the IBM team, Rob Bly, Jim Ingrata, to Todd, your commitment to Nova Scotia really set the tone for this successful partnership. To Cal Goss and Dave McCann and the many people behind you guys, thank you for your leadership here on the ground. Again, a huge Nova Scotia welcome to all our friends from IBM. Now you can finally go home and reacquaint yourselves with your families. John, again, thank you for your leadership in all this, and we really look forward to working with you. This is a fantastic opportunity for us here in Nova Scotia. It's really about the young people we see here today, and it's about creating a great future together. And so I know I might have left out a few names, but a lot of people in this room had a lot to do with this, and I really appreciate all the support and all the people from behind the scenes, because this is a great opportunity for us. So John, as you mentioned, IBM started here in Nova Scotia in 1956. It took 56 years to get here today, but the best is yet to come. So thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today.